A God will openly embrace you with a younger soulmate, matching spirit, crew. There comes a moment in life when you realize that love does not always arrive in the way you expected. It does not always follow the plans you made, the timeline you imagined, or the opinions of the people around you. Sometimes, after years of disappointment, loneliness, waiting, and wondering when your heart will ever truly be understood, life opens a door you never saw coming. And when that door opens, you may discover that the connection meant to transform your life is not defined by numbers, appearances, expectations, or the rules other people have written for you. It is defined by something deeper, a meeting of hearts, a matching of values, a powerful sense of recognition, and a connection that brings peace to your spirit. Perhaps you have been asking, will I ever experience a love that truly understands me? Maybe you have carried the weight of past relationships that left you questioning your worth. Maybe you have convinced yourself that your opportunity for real love has passed. But hear this message clearly. Your capacity to receive love has not expired. Your heart is not too old to hope, too wounded to heal, or too late to experience a beautiful new beginning. And sometimes, the person who enters your life may surprise you. They may come from a different season of life than the one you imagined. They may even be younger than you. Yet what matters most is not simply the number of years between you, but whether the relationship is healthy, respectful, freely chosen, emotionally mature, and built upon genuine mutual love. A younger person can possess remarkable wisdom, kindness, emotional depth, and a spirit that resonates with yours. Likewise, age alone can never guarantee compatibility. The true question is not, what will people think? The deeper question is, does this connection bring mutual respect, peace, honesty, growth, and genuine love? Do not allow fear to close your heart before love even has the opportunity to enter. Do not reject a meaningful connection simply because it arrived differently than you expected. You have spent enough time allowing the past to predict the future. You have spent enough time measuring your possibilities through disappointment. This is the moment to remember that a new chapter does not have to resemble the previous one. Imagine meeting someone who sees beyond your history, someone who does not define you by your mistakes, your heartbreak, or the years you have spent waiting. Someone whose presence reminds you that you are still capable of laughing deeply, dreaming boldly, loving openly, and being loved sincerely. Imagine a connection where both hearts are free to choose each other, where communication replaces confusion, where respect replaces manipulation, and where growth becomes something you experience together. That is the kind of love your heart should remain open to. You do not need to force destiny. You do not need to chase another person until you lose yourself. You do not need to convince someone to recognize your value. The healthiest love begins when two people can meet as whole individuals and freely choose to build something meaningful together. And when that connection comes, it may feel like life is gently reminding you that you were never forgotten. You were simply still becoming the person ready to receive what truly aligns with you. So, release the old belief that love has only one acceptable timeline. Release the fear of being judged. Release the idea that your future must look exactly like your past. Allow yourself to recognize that compatibility can be found in unexpected places and unexpected people. Your next chapter may hold a beautiful surprise. And if love enters your life through a connection that is respectful, mutual, emotionally healthy, and deeply aligned with your values, do not immediately run from it simply because it looks different from what you imagined. Open your heart, pay attention to the peace, notice the consistency, observe the respect. Let actions reveal character, because the love that truly belongs in your life will never require you to abandon yourself to receive it. It will invite you to become even more of who you were meant to be. This may be the beginning of a season where you stop asking whether love is possible for you and begin preparing yourself to recognize it when it arrives. Pong divine alignment brings the right soul to you. There is a powerful truth that many people discover only after they have spent years searching for love in the wrong places. The deepest connections cannot be forced. You can chase, convince, wait, worry, overthink, and try to control every possible outcome, But genuine love has a different energy. It does not require you to lose yourself in order to keep someone. It does not demand that you constantly prove your worth. The right connection begins when two people are able to meet with honesty, freedom, respect, and a genuine willingness to build something meaningful together. Sometimes, what feels like a long season of waiting is actually a season of preparation, shaping your heart and teaching you what you truly deserve. You may have wondered why certain relationships did not work. You may have blamed yourself, questioned your appearance, your age, your personality, or your ability to be loved. But not every closed door is evidence that something is wrong with you. Sometimes a connection ends because it was not capable of becoming the relationship you truly needed. Sometimes you must experience what does not align with your peace before you fully recognize the value of what does. Your past may have taught you painful lessons, but it does not have to become a permanent prediction of your future. And this is where divine alignment becomes such a powerful idea. Alignment is not about forcing another person to feel something against their will. It is about becoming clear about who you are, what you value, and the kind of relationship you are genuinely prepared to receive. When you stop abandoning yourself for attention, you begin to recognize the difference between temporary attraction and authentic compatibility. You start to understand that the right person is not simply someone who creates intense emotions. They are someone whose presence can also support trust, communication, safety, laughter, growth, and mutual respect. The person who enters your life may not look exactly like the image you once created in your mind. They may come from an unexpected background or be in a different season of life than you imagined. They may even be younger than you, yet possess emotional maturity, wisdom, kindness, and values that resonate deeply with your own. Age alone does not determine the quality of a person's heart. What matters is whether both people are consenting adults, emotionally responsible, mutually respectful, and genuinely compatible. A meaningful relationship is built not on numbers alone, but on the way two people communicate, support one another, respect boundaries, and freely choose each other. Perhaps your greatest assignment right now is not to chase love, but to prepare yourself to recognize it. Become honest about the patterns you no longer want to repeat. Heal the part of you that believes you must compete for affection. Release the need to control every detail of how and when love arrives. The more deeply you understand your own value, the less likely you are to settle for connections that leave you constantly anxious, confused, or emotionally depleted. Believe that your life can still surprise you. Believe that a new connection can arrive after disappointment. Believe that love does not have to repeat the pain of your past. And when someone enters your life whose spirit, values, and vision genuinely resonate with yours, allow yourself to see the connection clearly instead of immediately searching for reasons to fear it. Pay attention to their character, observe their consistency. Notice whether their words and actions align. The right connection will never require you to become less of yourself. It should encourage you to grow while allowing you to remain authentic. It should not be built upon desperation, but upon mutual choice. And perhaps that is the beautiful message waiting for you today. You do not have to force what is meant to grow naturally. Keep becoming the healthiest, strongest, and most authentic version of yourself, and remain open to the possibility that the love you have been hoping for may arrive in a way you never expected. But with a connection your heart can finally recognize as real. A younger soulmate can carry a deeply mature spirit. One of the greatest mistakes people make when thinking about love is assuming that age alone determines wisdom, emotional maturity, loyalty, or the ability to create a meaningful relationship. While life experience can certainly teach valuable lessons, the number of years a person lived does not automatically reveal the depth of their character. You may meet someone younger than you who possesses remarkable emotional intelligence, kindness, patience, self-awareness, and a clear understanding of what they want from life. You may also meet someone older who is still unwilling to communicate honestly or take responsibility for their actions. This is why, when considering a potential relationship between consenting adults, It is important to look beyond appearances and assumptions and pay attention to the qualities that truly create compatibility. Perhaps life is preparing you to release an old belief about what love is supposed to look like. Maybe you imagine that your perfect partner would have to fit a particular age, background, personality, or life story. But sometimes the most meaningful connections arrive in forms we did not expect. A younger partner may bring fresh energy, optimism, curiosity, and excitement into your life, while also possessing the maturity needed to communicate openly and build something stable. The question should never simply be, are they younger? The deeper questions are, do we respect each other? Do we communicate well? Do our values align? Are we both emotionally ready? Do we support each other's growth? Are we freely choosing this relationship? A matching spirit is not about finding someone who agrees with you on absolutely everything. It is about discovering a person whose deeper values can harmonize with yours. You may have different interests, personalities, or experiences, yet still share an understanding about honesty, loyalty, kindness, family purpose, and the kind of future you hope to create. When two people can appreciate their differences without trying to control or diminish each other, something beautiful becomes possible. Their relationship becomes a place where both individuals can learn, evolve, laugh, dream, and grow. Do not underestimate the power of emotional maturity. A mature person is not someone who never makes mistakes. They are someone who can acknowledge mistakes, listen, apologize when necessary, respect boundaries, and take responsibility for their choices. These qualities are far more valuable than a number on a calendar. If a younger person enters your life with consistency, integrity, emotional awareness, and genuine respect, do not allow fear or outside judgment to make every decision for you. Instead, take the time to understand who they truly are. At the same time, do not confuse excitement with compatibility. A meaningful relationship should be evaluated through actions over time. Watch how they treat people when there is nothing to gain. Notice whether they respect your boundaries and honor your individuality. Pay attention to whether difficult conversations can happen without manipulation or disrespect. True maturity reveals itself through consistency, accountability, and the willingness to create a relationship where both people feel valued. You may be entering a season where you are learning that love does not need to follow other people's expectations to be real. As long as a relationship is between consenting adults and is built upon mutual respect, honesty, healthy boundaries, and genuine freedom of choice, you have the right to explore whether the connection is truly compatible. You do not need permission from every outside voice to recognize the value of someone who treats you with kindness and sincerity, so remain open but remain wise. Let your heart feel, but let your discernment guide you. Do not reject a beautiful possibility merely because it surprises you, and do not accept an unhealthy situation simply because it feels intense. Look for the balance between passion and peace, excitement and trust, attraction and genuine respect. Perhaps the person meant to share an important chapter of your life will remind you that a true connection is not measured by age, but by the way two hearts meet with honesty. If their spirit brings encouragement to your journey, if their character reveals consistency, and if both of you can freely choose one another while honoring each other's individuality, then allow yourself to explore the possibility. The right connection may arrive unexpectedly, but when there is mutual love, maturity, respect, and a shared vision, two people from different seasons of life can still discover that their hearts speak a language they both understand. Bokar Goings release the fear of what others may think. There is a moment when you must decide whether you are going to live according to your own deepest values or according to the expectations of everyone around you. Love can become complicated when outside opinions become louder than your own inner clarity. People may have something to say about the person you choose, the timing of your relationship, the difference in your ages, or the path your life takes. But other people's opinions cannot build your relationship for you. They will not have your conversations, experience your private moments, carry your responsibilities, or live with the consequences of the choices you make. That is why you must learn to distinguish between genuine wisdom and unnecessary judgment. If a relationship between consenting adults is healthy, respectful, honest, and freely chosen, you do not have to allow fear of criticism to automatically close your heart. Perhaps you have spent too much of your life wondering, what will they think? Maybe you have avoided opportunities because you were afraid of being misunderstood. Maybe you have allowed an imagined judgment to become more powerful than your own desires. But every time you allow fear of other people's opinions to control your decisions, you hand someone else the authority to write your story. Your life is too valuable to be governed entirely by voices that do not understand your journey. You can listen to advice without surrendering your discernment. You can respect your family, friends, and community while still recognizing that your personal relationships require your own careful evaluation. This does not mean ignoring every warning. Wisdom is not rebellion. If someone you trust raises a concern about manipulation, dishonesty, disrespect, emotional instability, or unhealthy behavior, take that concern seriously. True confidence does not mean refusing to listen. It means listening carefully, examining the evidence, and then making a thoughtful decision based on reality rather than fear. Ask yourself what the relationship actually feels like when nobody else is watching. Is there honesty? Is there mutual respect? Are boundaries honored? Can both people communicate without intimidation? Are both individuals free to say yes or no? Do actions consistently match words? These questions matter far more than gossip. You may discover that some people will never understand your choices, no matter how carefully you explain them, and that is okay. You are not required to convince everyone. Some people judge what they do not understand. Others project their own experiences onto your life. Someone else's painful relationship does not automatically predict yours. Someone else's definition of love does not have to become your definition. You can acknowledge their perspective while peacefully maintaining your own boundaries. The most important thing is to remain grounded. Do not allow the excitement of a new connection to make you ignore reality, and do not allow fear of judgment to make you reject something healthy before you have truly understood it. Let time reveal character. Let consistency reveal intentions. Let communication reveal compatibility. A relationship should be strong enough to survive honest conversations and mature enough to respect individuality. When you release the need for universal approval, you create room for authentic living. You stop performing for an audience and start becoming honest with yourself. You realize that your worth is not determined by whether everyone applauds your decisions. Your worth exists independently of their opinions. So if a new relationship enters your life in a way you never expected, breathe. Do not panic simply because it looks different. Do not immediately accept it either. Observe it, understand it, evaluate it. Ask whether it reflects the values you have chosen for your life. And if you discover mutual respect, emotional maturity, honesty, freedom, and genuine affection, allow yourself to acknowledge that possibility without shame. You are allowed to grow beyond old expectations. You are allowed to discover that your heart still has room for something beautiful. You are allowed to choose a relationship based on character rather than appearances. Release the fear of being misunderstood, but keep your wisdom. Let other people have their opinions while you remain responsible for your own choices. Your future should be built on truth, respect, and mutual love, not on the fear of what someone else might say. Prepare your heart to receive love openly. Before a beautiful relationship can truly become part of your life, you may need to ask yourself an important question. Am I emotionally ready to receive the kind of love I say I want? Many people desire a deep connection, yet their hearts are still protecting themselves from pain that belongs to the past. They want to be loved, but they struggle to trust. They want intimacy, but they become afraid when someone gets too close. They pray for a new beginning while secretly expecting every new person to repeat the mistakes of the last one. This is why preparing your heart is so important. A new relationship cannot always flourish in a space filled entirely with old fear. You do not have to forget what happened to you, but you can decide that the past will no longer control every possibility. that stands before you. Perhaps you have experienced rejection, disappointment, betrayal, or a relationship that made you question your own worth. Maybe you spent years giving more than you received. Maybe you learned to associate love with anxiety, uncertainty, chasing, or emotional exhaustion. But healthy love does not require you to constantly fight for the smallest amount of affection. You should not have to abandon your identity just to keep someone interested. Preparing your heart means releasing the belief that suffering is proof of love. It means understanding that peace, consistency, kindness, and respect can also be deeply romantic. If a new person enters your life, perhaps someone younger than you, someone unexpected, or someone completely different from the image you once imagined, you may feel both excitement and fear. Part of you may want to open your heart, while another part may immediately begin searching for reasons to run. This is where self-awareness becomes powerful. Instead of reacting automatically, pause and ask yourself, am I seeing this person clearly, or am I seeing them through the lens of an old wound? Every person deserves to be evaluated according to their own character and actions. Do not allow the mistakes of someone from your past to automatically become the identity of someone in your present. Preparing to receive love also means knowing yourself. Understand what you value. Know what kind of communication you need. Recognize your boundaries. Be honest about your hopes for the future. When you understand yourself, you become less likely to lose yourself inside a relationship. You can love someone deeply while still maintaining your individuality. You can be open-hearted while still being wise. You can feel excitement without ignoring red flags. Emotional openness and healthy discernment can exist together. Do not confuse being available for love with accepting anything that comes your way. Your heart does not need to be open to disrespect, manipulation, dishonesty, or emotional instability. Instead, allow it to be open to genuine possibility. Let people earn your trust through consistency. Let actions speak louder than promises. Take the time to discover whether your values truly align. A meaningful connection should develop through mutual effort, honest communication, and the freedom for both people to express their needs. Sometimes the greatest transformation happens when you finally stop asking, will they choose me, and begin asking, does this relationship honor who I am becoming? That shift changes everything. You stop chasing validation and start recognizing your own value. You stop seeing love as something that must rescue you and begin seeing it as something that can complement a life you are already building. So allow yourself to believe that your heart can experience something new. You are not required to remain emotionally imprisoned by an old chapter. You are allowed to heal, learn, and become open again. You are allowed to laugh with someone new without betraying your past. You are allowed to receive affection without immediately questioning whether you deserve it. And perhaps that is the message your heart needs today. Prepare yourself not by becoming desperate for love, but by becoming ready for it. Heal what needs healing. Strengthen your boundaries. Remember your worth. Release the belief that every beautiful possibility will end in pain. Then, when a healthy and mutually respectful connection enters your life, you will be able to recognize it, not through fear, but through clarity. Your heart still has the power to open, to trust wisely, and to embrace a love that meets you with genuine care, mutual respect, and a spirit that truly resonates with your own. Pong Ga Pong recognize the relationship that brings peace, growth, and mutual love. There is a powerful difference between a relationship that simply creates intense emotions and a relationship that genuinely adds peace, growth, and meaning to your life. Sometimes people mistake confusion for passion, anxiety for love, and emotional unpredictability for excitement. They believe that if they are constantly thinking about someone, worrying about them, or wondering where they stand, the connection must be powerful. But a healthy and meaningful relationship does not need to keep you in a constant state of emotional uncertainty. Love can be exciting without being chaotic. Attraction can be intense without becoming unhealthy. A true connection can bring butterflies to your heart while also bringing a sense of safety to your mind. As you move forward and open yourself to the possibility of meeting a soulmate whose spirit genuinely resonates with yours. Learn to recognize the signs of a healthy connection. Look beyond appearances, age, social expectations, and temporary excitement. Pay attention to how the relationship actually affects your life. Do you feel respected? Can you communicate honestly? Are your boundaries taken seriously? Does this person encourage you to grow, or do they constantly make you feel smaller? Can both of you express your needs without fear? A matching spirit is not necessarily someone who is identical to you. It is someone whose presence can harmonize with your values and whose character allows both of you to become better together. Perhaps the person who enters your life will surprise you. They may be younger than you, yet demonstrate wisdom and emotional maturity. They may bring a different perspective, a fresh energy, and a new way of seeing life. But the real beauty of the connection should never depend solely on the difference in age. The foundation must be built upon something deeper, two consenting adults freely choosing each other, treating one another with dignity, and creating a relationship based on honesty and mutual respect. When these qualities exist, people from different life experiences can still discover a powerful sense of compatibility. Pay attention to consistency. Anyone can make a beautiful promise in an emotional moment, but character is revealed over time. Does this person follow through? Do they communicate when challenges arise? Can they admit when they are wrong? Do they respect your independence? A relationship becomes stronger when both people understand that love is not ownership. You are not meant to possess each other. You are meant to choose each other freely while still honoring the individuality, dreams, friendships, and personal growth of the other person. Mutual love also means mutual effort. One person should not be carrying the entire emotional weight of the relationship. You should not always be the one initiating conversations, repairing every conflict, making every sacrifice, or trying to keep the connection alive. Healthy love requires participation from both hearts. There will be difficult days, disagreements, and moments when patience is necessary, but the effort to understand and improve should never belong to only one person. When two people genuinely value one another, they both contribute to creating trust. Growth is another beautiful sign. The right relationship does not demand perfection, but it can inspire transformation. You may become more confident, more communicative, more compassionate, and more honest because the relationship gives you space to grow. At the same time, you should also be able to encourage your partner's dreams without controlling their path. Real love celebrates the other person's growth rather than becoming threatened by it. So, as you prepare for the love you desire, remember this. Do not chase chaos simply because it feels familiar. Do not confuse emotional highs and lows with destiny. Look for a connection that contains both passion and peace. Look for someone whose words and actions gradually reveal integrity. Look for a relationship where laughter is shared, difficult conversations can happen, boundaries are respected, and both people remain free to be themselves. And when such a connection enters your life, do not immediately dismiss it, because it arrived differently than you expected. Take your time. Learn who the person truly is. Allow trust to grow through consistent actions. Let love develop naturally rather than forcing it into existence. The relationship that truly deserves a place in your life should not require you to abandon your peace in order to experience love. When two hearts meet with mutual respect, emotional maturity, freedom, and genuine affection, the connection can become a beautiful partnership, one where both people are not only loved for who they are, but also encouraged to become everything they are capable of becoming.